If you're one of those people that buys into the idea of the 3-episode rule giving you a good impression of a show, then I think the 3rd episode of Mix gives you reason to continue. I myself don't really follow this rule. I found that I pretty much can see if I can like a show by its first episode. And honestly, by the first episode of Mix, I probably would have dropped it if I had not known what was coming next. But episode 3 is finally allowing the show to settle in that we now have 2 storylines that have firmly established themselves. The first storyline is asking the question of whether the Tachibana brothers are fit to stay at Meisei. To catch up with the plot, there is a player on the middle school team named Nikkaido who has been tagged as the ace pitcher of the team. It's an open secret amongst all the members of the team that he is not fit to be the ace because Toma is a much better pitcher. But the reason why he gets tagged to be the ace is because his father, who is the president of a company, donates a large amount of money to the school and to the baseball club. And in return, the coach, who is friends with the father, gives the ace position to his son. This does a good job in setting up an early antagonist and to set up some inner conflict between the Tachibana brothers, who have declared in this episode that they have no outstanding loyalty to the program. Their dad was a backup pitcher at Meisei, but otherwise the only reason why they have said that they attend this school is because it's just within walking distance of their house. Once it becomes clear that Toma isn't going to pitch at all this season, other people start asking them whether it is prudent to stay where they are. And this allows them to ask questions about their own talents. Why is Soichiro a catcher when Toma is a pitcher? Why don't they speak up about what they consider to be an injustice? And what satisfaction do they find out of playing baseball anyway? So that's one story. The other competing story is the rising popularity of both Soichiro and Otomi. Soichiro has already been established as this womanizing playboy, or as much of a womanizing playboy as a middle schooler can be. Whereas Otomi is finally, I guess for lack of a better term, blossoming into this woman that is becoming very attractive to all of the middle school boys. Soichiro's popularity amongst the girls is starting to agitate some of the boys, but the boys then settle down when they realize that Otomi, who is apparently the most wanted girl in school, is the one girl that Soichiro can't attain because of their siblingness. Whereas it is hinted that because Toma and Otomi are not blood related, that there is a chance of them getting together, which is immediately brushed away by Toma, who still considers Otomi to be his sister, obviously. This sudden rise of popularity for Otomi and Soichiro gives us to examine why Toma considers himself to be a little less than the others. After their practice game, Otomi reveals that he has a lower batting average than Soichiro, has had fewer hits than Soichiro, and is underperforming on offense. And Soichiro's constant dates with girls remind him of his inferiority in the eyes of the girls of the middle school. This makes us wonder whether Toma is going to be able to blossom as a pitcher and as a person once he gets the opportunity to display his talents. But it appears as if he doesn't need to show his talents to be popular, because at the end of the episode, we get revelations from both Soichiro and Otomi that he is in fact popular with girls, even though he brushes off the idea as ludicrous. And this is cool because not only does this set up a sibling rivalry in the sports world, but it also sets up a sibling rivalry in the romantic sense, with a possible weird incestuous relationship in the middle. But I guess that's just an anime thing. Some of the things that made this episode really good are the playfulness of a lot of its scenes. Early on, Otomi breaks the fourth wall to plug Hiyatari Ryoko and Itsumo Misora, which are two manga series that Adachi has made and is still selling, I presume. And after the credits, Otomi and Toma get into this very Adachi-like pun battle that is A pretty impressive achievement for whoever translated that, because I'm sure most of the puns are Japanese specific, and it still made it clear that it is in fact wordplay. This episode also shows the first baseball games being played, and the action looks really good. The colors are really solid, they pop, the movement itself looks smooth, and it's really cool and inspiring to see these scenes come to life. Because Adachi is a master at drawing these baseball scenes, but in a manga they are static. And shows like Touch and H2 and Cross Game, as well as they were drawn on the page, they were not animated with the best care they possibly could have been. And so it's cool to see the years of technical progression really manifest in these baseball scenes. The show is still a little bit slow. If you haven't liked it up to this point, I'm not entirely positive the third episode will convince you to continue watching, but there are some good signs. There's some signs of life from this show now. And I think for the first time after watching the first 3 episodes, I'm actually excited to watch the next one. Hopefully that feeling will continue.